In Lagos State, a female banker faces charges over 116 million naira theft. Police in Lagos State have arrested Mrs Sadiku Ruth Olubunmi, a 39-year-old banker with Seedwest Limited, over allegations of stealing 116 million naira from customers' accounts. Olubunmi is accused of forging documents, including a letterhead purportedly bearing the signature of Ms. Adelekan Funke of Toward Global Business Ventures to fraudulently withdraw 15 million naira. Police also alleged she diverted 101 million naira intended for deposits into her personal use. The fraud came to light after customers reported discrepancies to Seedwest Limited, prompting an internal review and a police investigation led by Inspector Pius Ndegbe. Olubunmi was subsequently arraigned before the Igbosere Magistrate Court, facing charges of obtaining money under false pretense, forgery, and stealing. The prosecution claims the offenses were committed between June and August 2024, while Olubunmi worked as a cashier responsible for customers' deposits. Her actions reportedly violate Section 411, 365, 314, and 287 of the Lagos State Criminal Law 2015. Olubunmi pleaded not guilty. Chief Magistrate B.A. Sonuga granted her bail at 2 million naira with two sureties, adjourning the case to 22nd January 2025. Until she meets her bail terms, she will remain in custody at Ikoyi Correctional Facility. Recently a news broke about, it was yesterday, or day before, I think, 2 days ago, about the fraudulent practices committed by the former central bank governor of building 735 duplexes for himself. What are your thoughts on, criminal thoughts of this nature where people steal from their fellow compatriots for personal gain?
Actually, I would say it's really, really appalling, in the sense that these are people that we trust with our monies. Hearing this kind of news happening from the bank, it's not the best.
Right.
It's not the best. And when I read that story, what came into my mind is our value system. What are the things that we really value so much today?
Right.
Because when somebody is doing this kind of stealing inside a bank, you can, draw a lot of inferences from such an action.
Exactly, because you now start to think, is it an isolated case, or this is all what's, this is the same actions taken in all of the banks?
Beautiful. It is not an isolated case, because we've been hearing cases like this. We've been hearing cases like this. And I would say it is not a good one.
Right.
And then I can't fail to talk about our value system, the things that we value the most. Today, the things that we see in the society, a lot of people wanting to, belong. Oh, if you don't have money today, it's like you are not among.
Without a care of whose horses are gone.
That is it. So a lot of people are doing all sort of things just to get to that point that say, oh, I have arrived.
I have arrived.
And then you want to show off wealth. This is stealing, for crying out loud.
Do you think that is now as a result of society failing to question the source of people's incomes?
Exactly. Exactly.
The glorification of wealth.
We have done so much presently today, and it is not good for the society. I looked at a story, and I always remember an uncle of mine who was a customs officer. He retired back in the 80s. And he will tell us, every now and then when he sits us down, he will tell us how in his time, you just can't buy a car and then come to tell the father that, oh, I bought a car. They will ask you, because they know your salary.
Right.
How did you get that car? You are buying this, how did you get that money? So by the time you think about the questions that you're going to receive from your family, you will sit up and say, no, I will not involve myself in illegal acquisition of wealth.
Right.
So that kind of training, and it has molded us. It has molded. But today, those values are no more.
Many people are losing it.
People don't ask anymore, how did he make that money? Despite knowing the fact of the source of your income.
Right.
For example, you are working in the bank. There's a salary scale for people that are working in the bank.
Given that this action of this lady, Miss Ruth, is traceable, what do you think gave bankers the impetus, as it were, to commit such grievous offences?
Beautiful. I also thought about that as well. And these are things that, you know, you're clocking in or clocking out at your... How is it that for 3 good months, between June and August, as that report shows, that the bank itself didn't notice it on time?
Till it was reported by the customer.
Because today, when you are being credited, sometimes the banks, they do not even send you the alert in time. Same thing happens when you are debited. So, I went to the bank to deposit money in my account. At least I should be able to see...
In real time.
In real time, the alert is, okay, such and such an amount has been deposited in your account, either by you or by someone else. How is it that if, okay, now, the clients themselves, they made the report, the bank still wasted time in carrying out the investigation.
Right.
So the bank has a role to play in safeguarding the monies of their
customers. Given that, especially with the fact that we do not have anywhere else to put our monies other than the bank. Now, you know, most times when a crime is committed, a cashier would not necessarily, in my opinion, if I would say so, have the vile rights to say, I want to take this off. Do you think there's some kind of backing for people that commit this sort of act in the bank? Maybe someone is being paid, the money is being shared. Do you think that sort of structure is what gives bankers the impetus to do this? Because last week, a banker was equally, you know, charged to court for siphoning the account of someone abroad. Now, he kept taking till a post-no deposit was laid on the account. And the guy went as far as, you know, trying to do a NIN ID card on that person's name to reopen the account. Do you think now there is some form of backing that makes people want to do this because they know, you know, they are technically covered, as it were?
It is a possibility. Because there is no way the person at the top, if your hands are clean.
Given that, you know, there are different departments and different, you're answerable to somebody in an organization.
Definitely.
So what do you think is lacking that this has become so prevalent?
It's boils down to the same corruption. Corruption cases that we've been talking about all often and often. And it's like nothing is being done. Because by the time you say you want to take it to the courts, you know what's happening in our judiciary system. In as much as they know that they have people that can cover them up or cover they have the impetus to do anything they want to do. Do
you think the locus is more laid about the Nigerian society, as is where people, we've read in the news, so many corrupt officials? Do you think it's because, oh, if this so person can do it, I should be able to do it? Do you think that is the locus that funds that impetus I'm talking about?
It is. I still agree with you. Yes, it is. It is. Because it wasn't like this. It has not always been like this.
All right.
But at a point in time, we derailed from how it used to be.
Why did we derail?
Like I said, people want to belong, okay? They know where they meet themselves. So by the time a crime is committed and they meet in their inner caucus and they discuss about this thing, you see that cases that ought to be dealt with are just swept under the carpet. And we mustn't allow this to continue.
We mustn't. So what are your thoughts on how, what do you think, what systemic changes and structures should the banks put in place so that to mitigate this sort of actions?
At least I would say let us have righteous men at the helm of affairs of every sector. People that say, okay, if I do this deal, I will get 100 million out of it. We will share it. Somebody will say, no, I am not in this with you. You know? Right. When we have such people at the helm of affairs, it will be correct.
Now, you know that most times in a corporate environment, people grow, right? Now, when I'm talking about growth, I don't think you can ascertain when you employ staff to say, okay, this person is going to always be the person that says no. There's this quote that people usually say, everybody has a price, right? Now, how do banks get to sports? What do you think they should look out for in form of their systemic changes, as I earlier mentioned, to say, okay, this person can man the affairs and is going to turn all of this down?
At least when you employ staff members, if it is on a yearly basis, also you can do their appraisal.
Okay.
People that are working with them, they know who is who and who does what. Because say birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
They know themselves.
Right.
So when they know that there is such an appraisal at the end of a year and a reward is given to, people, I'm sure that will help. Okay, for the fact that I did this and I was demoted, also I will not try it again. But it appears that there is really no punishment for erring staff. Right. So if they can introduce that, I think it will help.
Do you think if the staffs get pre-informed on entry into the companies, into the banking system, to say, certain countries implement different laws. I don't know how this gets swept under the carpet in Nigeria as well, till this lady had to go and report. But what are the things do you think they can do as regards to, our judicial system, the amount of years they get to serve, the punishment they get for committing these crimes, in a way that it will act as a deter to people that are planning or intending to say, okay, when I get this banking job, I'm going to steal 116 million?
I have thought about something like this, and I'm just like, I was discussing with some friends, and they were like, it's not as though we don't really have the laws in place. These laws are there. But the challenge that we're having is an implementation of these laws.
Right.
By the time this person has been caught, implement the laws. If it is a jail term, give the person the jail term.
Right.
Without an option of fine. By the time it's, my career has been, I've spoiled my career with my own hands. Like I said, other people will sit up.
Right.
But by the time someone has been caught, you will see good lawyers trying to protect that person because they are good at their job. Oh, just bring this, just bring this. I will cover up your tracks and nothing will happen, according to a lot of things that we hear from different sectors. Nothing will happen. It shouldn't be so.
Shouldn't be so.